Audio. Say something.
I hope you don't mind that I'm just going to be eating my croissant for the
don't
first
mind.
couple of minutes. Hello.
And we're live. Croissants
Hello.
at all.
Croissant is the fourth member of the team.
Wait, what's up?
The Croissant is the unofficial fourth member.
Exactly. VPP Gen IV, so we need 4 people, so we have a croissant.
Too bad that this fourth member is going to perish soon, so.
Oof. Yeah, so welcome to Generation 4. Also,
Woo!
today
Gen
is
4.
April 4th. It's the 4th month. The 4th day of the 4th month, we're going to be talking about the 4th generation of Pokemon games. So I like that. Some nice parallelism.
So we have actually done this at 4 p.m.
Too late. We do it at 4:04, and we send the stream to YouTube, and YouTube can't find the page.
Terrible.
That's funny.
Hey. So if you missed our stream the other night on Friday night,
You missed out then.
you missed out
yeah.
because you missed out an hour of us debugging DS emulators, and then another like 2.5 hours of playing Pokemon, which was pretty cool when it was all said and done. And now we can even save our games, which is a neat feature.
Yes, it's great.
Have you guys tried to load back in since Friday?
Nope.
No,
All
it
right.
should be fine though.
We should be fine.
I've used this emulator in the past with other games where I had an in-game save, and it's worked fine.
Yeah. Oh, and I should state for the record, in case Nintendo is watching this, by emulator, we of course mean legally acquired DS.
Yes,
Because we
sorry, I
know that
apologize.
DS stands for dual screen.
Yeah. We have our Nintendo dual screens, handheld consoles, and we've been playing on those.
Continue.
Yeah,
Player Fred. Time 2 hours 17 minutes. Badges 0. Pokedex 14. Okay.
That seems on track, so we're good.
We are good to go.
This, in case you missed it, this generation we're doing a gym leader challenge. I, so far, kind of haven't committed to one because I have just one Pokemon, and it is... Oh shit.
Tortilla.
I named it Tortilla, but what...
Do you not know its name?
You have a Grottle now.
Grottle, thank you. Sorry, I got confused. There's too many turtles. There's
what
too
a
many
good
turtles.
gym leader. What a great gym leader.
I'm
What
a
are
great
you?
gym leader. I don't even know the names of my Pokemon, which actually kind of checks out. Like, to be a gym leader, I think you need to be completely oblivious about the strengths and weaknesses of your team.
Yeah, all you have to do is just say, I'm just going to do like all grass types or all water types and not even do anything about it. I mean, if
Exactly.
you become a stronger gym leader, you have a lot of counters. Like, earlier this week, when I was facing Wallace in his all water type gym, I was like, oh, this will be a cinch because I have all grass types. But little do we know that his Milotic has Ice Beam. They have counters. They figure it out. They do
I
their
actually
things.
knew that because I suffered in the E4.
And I knew that because I suffered because it's melodic. Who's a tank? My God.
Yep.
It's an absolute tank. It's a mess.
I think I took it out with Toxic and Fly.
Toxic sounds right.
So what are you guys doing this gen?
Sirmina.
I should have picked someone. Cam, you go.
Well, since there are 2 acquirable fire types before you beat the game, which are Chimchar and Ponyta, I'm not doing a fire type challenge.
Fair.
So that would lead into doing a fighting type gym leader challenge, of which there are 6 fighting types that you can get. That's the Chimchar line, the Croagunk line, the Riolu line, the Meditite line, Machop line, and Heracross.
Wow.
And I looked up how to get them all, and like 3 of them will be easy, and 2 of them are like effort.
Maximum
Heracross
effort.
is a lot of effort.
Maximum
and
effort.
Riolu's effort. And I can't even get Machamp. So I'll have Machoke.
Kitty.
I mean, Machoke's gonna work out just fine.
Yeah.
I used Machoke in Gen 1. No solid.
Yeah.
It'll be the only pure fighting that I'll have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because Riolu's fighting, but it evolves into Lucario, which is fighting Steel.
That's very exciting, honestly.
That's probably good, though, because it'll give you some nice diversity on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have fire fighting, bug fighting, psychic fighting, steel fighting, and fighting poison.
Nice.
I've had a poison type on my team since Gen 1.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
So that'll be
That's
nice.
great.
Did you not have... You didn't run into... I guess you cleared out some of your bugs in Gen 3 once you started, like, going through the game.
But they weren't ever poison types.
None of them were poison?
If I had gotten
Incredible.
Dustox, it would have been
Oh,
bug
got it.
poison, I think.
Mhm.
But I got Beautifly, which is bug flying.
Mm.
And Nincada was bug ground, and then Ninjask is bug flying.
Well, that covers Gym Leader Flynn and Gym Leader Fred.
I should have had an F name to go along with you guys.
No,
Dang
you're
it.
gym leader Sirmina.
Dang it. Ugh, that's fine. Well, I will be all water types, which I'm on my way already, given that I have Piplup, of course, and given that I did catch Bidoof and I'm using it
Bidoof.
actively. When it becomes a Bibero, it will be normal water.
Yeah.
And I haven't done as much research as Cam has into the typings because I think that like you basically did all of it and I just have to read up whatever you did. But the other water types that are going to be available, I think are going to be pretty clutch.
You could
Yeah.
actually get a Tentacool and Cruel on your team.
If I really wanted to, because like as much as we hated fighting them, like they're pretty solid tanks, you know?
Yep.
So we got that as an option, Tentacruel's an option to go water poison. I think the was it the Gastrodon, like water ground, is an option for a little more variety there too.
And
You also
And then
have
there's
the
some other ones that I'm
Barboach.
not thinking of. Mm-hmm.
You could do Barboach and Whiscash for water
True.
ground, or Whooper Quagsire for water ground.
oh, wow.
I think you have 3 options for water ground, and if Peter chooses
I'm gonna go
grass,
Gen 4 though.
I am most
Gen 4
likely
water
going
ground.
grass. That's probably what's going to happen.
if you do choose grass, we will have no crossover between Pokemon on any of our teams.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That'd be
Cool.
very exciting.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the first hour of the stream the other night. So,
Ugh.
we ran into several bugs using one of the options for the Gen 4 games, which the biggest one I think was that every time you defeated the first Starly, the game would crash.
Yeah.
Or the game would stop. I mean, it sort of just... Starly's health would go down to 0, and then nothing else would happen ever.
Yep.
For you guys.
So
So
that
we
was a
couldn't do
problem.
anything.
What did happen for you, Kim?
Rival chose Piplup and would use Growl,
Oh, and then it would stop.
and then it would just freeze.
Yeah. It was weird because, like, the game was playing up until that point, and then it would, like, consistently stop right there.
Which was at least better than it freezing at loading the ROM.
That's
That is true, because that also happened at one point. But we got things settled, which is good. And that let us get through one first chunk of story in the game.
Mhm.
So where are we right now?
We're in Borberg,
Yes.
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 so we're all pretty much at or around the first gym leader battle. So Peter beat it.
Yep.
Mina's about to start it, and I still need to go find him in the mines.
So we're fighting
Yeah.
Rourke, who's a guy, as I found out.
Definitely a guy.
Turns
Okay.
out, yeah.
And he is a rock type?
Yep.
Gym leader. So that made it pretty easy for me because grass against rock is trivial.
making it easy for me. Water against rock.
Make it easier for me because fighting against rock.
Yeah. So we should have a fine time at the first gym. Cam, do you have Machop yet?
I have Monferno with Mach Punch.
You have Monferno. Is Monferno already dual?
Firefighter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a stab fighting move, which is great. That gym should be no problem for any of us.
And Mach Punch always goes first.
Yeah, it does.
Oh. So is that... Wait, is that like quick attack where it...
It has a +1 priority. I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
So unless something else has a +1, then you always go first. Neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unless your opponent has a +1 priority and is faster than you. Because if you both
Right.
were to use quick attack, whoever's faster, of course, goes. But like, or
But I
Mach
also have
Punch or
Quick Claw.
Speed or whatever. Mm-hmm.
You also have quick claw.
So it also, yeah. So then on top of that, you just get the chance to like always go first, or not always, to occasionally just go first regardless.
Yeah.
Very nice. Quick claws are great.
They're amazing.
I gotta go get mine. I forgot to get mine.
You didn't talk to everyone.
You gotta talk to
I
everyone,
don't.
Peter.
I didn't talk to everyone. People kept telling me to go to school.
And that's where you talk to the people who tell you to go to talk to other people.
I go to enough school. Anyway.
There's no such thing as stranger danger in the Pokemon world.
Nope.
Well, I mean, you talk to
Nothing
some of
a
the
quick battle
Rockets
can't
and
resolve.
they'll like fight.
Maybe the rival in Gen 2.
Well,
Oh yeah, he was awful.
yeah, the rival in Gen 2 just should be banned.
Mm-hmm.
From,
Well, since we have gotten a couple of hours on Gen 4 already, what are some noticeable gameplay improvements that y'all are noticing already?
Touchscreen.
none.
That's great. Anything else?
I don't like Gen 4.
Why don't you like Gen 4?
I don't.
Oh, because you feel like you're being railroaded the entire game so far?
Okay, so putting that aside for a moment, because I do kind of feel like I've been a little railroaded through some of the intro sections, but I also have been throughout the games appreciative of tutorial phases and things that kind of walk you through stuff. So I can't be like too hard on the railroading point, because part of it is that the game is just kind of like trying to make sure that you get these basic mechanics. And like, if I had never played Pokemon before, yeah, it would be helpful to be like, you don't go in the tall grass unless you have a Pokemon, and like, here's what happens in the tall grass, and and like, even them walking you to the gym is like, okay, yeah, it's showing you the objectives of the game. Thinking about it over the weekend, I had some time away from it. Got to calm down a little bit. I did appreciate that. What I don't... So I actually think the game looks bad. I hate to
Really?
say that because I know it's 3D and that's cool. But I think I think Emerald was a prettier 2D than... What am I playing? Pearl? Pearl is in 3D.
It is a little jarring comparatively. Also, happy Easter, Noah. It's a little jarring to have gone from all of the 2D to the 3D. I'm sure that by the end of the game, we'll have gotten used to it. And moving forward, I'm sure that Black and White and Sun and Moon, those are all 3D, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Sword and Shield. So.
And then the other ones are as well, like Sun and Moon, X and Y.
Yes.
Oh yeah, X and Y exist. I'm not either of them. So.
No, the switch to 3D, we also haven't really gotten much of a chance to get to some of the best parts of the game yet. Of course, it's only been like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So there are some parts where you get to like more elaborate towns, routes, things like that. We also played totally muted on Friday, so you don't also get like the music. We haven't even touched the music
Yeah.
That's true.
at all.
And I will say, like, coloring my judgment is that I would get on at 9:30 most days and play Emerald. So it's during the day, like, you get the sunlight colorings, you get all that. We played at night the other night. So I got a very
You get night
dark
coloring.
pearl world.
Yeah.
Right? And that isn't going to have all the same range of colors as it probably will be when I inevitably do some morning streams and see,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah, they did bring back the global clock.
Night and day features.
Yeah, which they got rid of for Gen 3, and I was really happy about that. Forgot that came back.
We have some agreement from Mark that he says, yes, it has lost some of its charm, but there is hope for the plot line. We seem to be we're gonna eventually have a better antagonist team.
Cyrus! And Galactic.
And the
Yeah.
rest of the team. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
And he seems to like the Lake Trio.
Yeah. I'll move on from this. But I think what I'm running into a little bit here, and this is like a problem of all early like 3D graphics games, right? Is like when you do it the first time, the technology's not super there to make it really pretty. And like they had plenty of computing power to make a 2D Emerald world look beautiful. And it takes a lot more computing power to make 3D look as pretty as you can kind of make that 2D look pretty.
Like Sword and Shield.
Yeah, like Sword and Shield is obviously way down the line with like I don't know how powerful the Switch is compared to the DS specifically, but
Assumingly more powerful.
yeah, a lot, right? Like
Yeah.
this game came out in 2006, and I remember like you know we weren't talking about terabytes yet in 2006.
Probably not. Cam's looking something up.
I'm looking up the difference between the statistics of the Switch versus the DS. Just to see like processing power and video and all of that kind of stuff.
Because I know the Switch is while it's not like I don't think it compares quite to like a PS5 or something, but it's a pretty powerful little machine as far as I understand. Like it can output like HD video, so can't be messing around too much.
Well, the 2DS is what they're comparing it to at this point, but storage-wise, in terms of just like cards, 4 gigs versus 32 on the Switch.
Okay.
So there's just a lot more storage to like run the game and everything.
That'd be an interesting one. I'll try to look more into that and maybe talk about it on a stream this week. Just because it'd be kind of cool to compare like some of the hardware capabilities of the older machines, just since a lot of that stuff has evolved so quickly.
Yeah, y'all can get into that stuff. I am just over my head.
The processor of the Switch is an octa-core 1.02 gigahertz.
Yeah.
The processor of the DS is a 67 megahertz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Explain, please.
Well,
So,
so a gigahertz is what, 1,000 megahertz?
yeah.
So basically, it's Cam, you go.
Basically, it's 15 times more powerful
Wow.
Yeah.
than the DS.
Somewhere in
It
that
also has
range.
double the RAM.
But also,
Okay.
I'm not sure the DS was using a multi-core processor, so it's 15 times faster, but it's also got 8 cores. So it's able to, it's effectively like much faster.
Yeah, 67 megahertz ARM9, octa-core, 4 times ARM Cortex A57.
Okay.
I
Wow.
don't know what those mean, but I do know that the megahertz and the gigahertz are completely different.
I'm
So
gonna have to
basically,
look
very
some stuff
fancy.
So, going back to like the 3D-ness of everything, like I'm gonna just compare it to when Half-Life came out in 1998, and like you look at the original one now, and you're like, oh, these graphics are still like kind of good, and there's like a little blocky maybe, but at the time it was revolutionary. I imagine that when this came out, it
Oh,
was
it was huge.
yeah.
The other,
This is the first jump to the DS on a Pokemon game, right?
yeah,
First time we go in 2D to 3D. I mean, well, not unless you count the GameCube games, because
Right.
those are technically 3D in their own right on GameCube console versus, DS 3D.
yeah.
But even still, even compared to like the GameCube games, like this 3D is much more detailed and elaborate.
And look, I think part of this, like, there's a bit of a weird, like, a game like Half-Life is supposed to at some level look pretty good, right? Like that was part of what they set out to do, was make something that looked graphically really pretty. And that is also the goal of games like Call of Duty, etc. Like, but that's with more of a photorealistic edge, right? Like, you want the Call of Duty game should feel real. I don't think that's the goal of Pokemon. Like, obviously, like, you're not gonna make the Pikachu look like it really does, because. But I think that's, to me, like, it was gonna eventually go to 3D, but I just have trouble with saying that move. Oh my god. It's a skitty.
Hello, Andromeda.
A wild skitty appeared. I have trouble with, like, saying that I loved the move because it just looked so pretty in Gen 3. Andromeda's
very
told me
pretty in
that.
Gen 3. They used the most of the Game Boy Advance that they possibly could.
I really think so.
That together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Do we know much about the story of the game so far?
Cam knows more than we do, technically.
Yeah.
You get flooded everywhere you go.
You get thudded
You get thudded.
by chuds.
Yep. This is the game of the thuds.
No, I guess the plot line so far is we've gotten to Orberg, and I've met Cyrus briefly, and he said, "Get out of my way." So we did.
And Cyrus is not Persian in this game.
He's galactic.
Cyrus is the Galactic Man.
Well, so what is-
Assumedly, right? Because he wasn't like formally introduced as the Team Galactic Man.
No, all we know is that he introduced himself as Cyrus.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so I haven't looked anything up about Gen 4 yet.
Good, don't.
I swear. I'm not going
Keep
to.
a surprise for yourself.
Because I'm looking forward to experiencing this story. The one thing that's making me a little suspicious is that galactic is like a spacey word, and like rockets go to space.
Ooh.
So I've got like a theory.
What's your theory?
I don't know. I think the Team Galactic is what Rocket expanded into. And now they're going to be even bigger. Like, they might be cutting off slow bro tails now.
I'm glad they dropped that bomb.
I'm really glad they dropped that.
Rude of them to be doing such a thing.
I
Gen
was
2 bad.
like,
That be really bad.
as far as I know from what I've understood and like read about the game, I have no idea anything about Black, White, Sun, Moon, X, Y. But I do know Sword and Shield, and like there's no Team Magma or Aqua or Galactic type thing in Sword and Shield. And I don't know if like the Magma Aqua conflict kind of thing ever comes back. So I imagine that this would be something different than like the environmental view. And I
Do you want me
imagine
to
that it would
spoil
still
it
be.
or no? Do you want me to spoil?
No.
Okay, good.
We'll find
We're
out.
just-
I couldn't tell if you were wanting like answers to your questions or if you were just kind of posing them just that.
I'm
your
just
own-
posing them.
We're
being
expressing
like,
some
this is where
curiosities.
Like, I don't think that. I feel like Galactic. I don't know, if a team with a name like that, I feel like they're a little bit more out there.
They
Not
dream
like-
big.
Yeah, they're really big and they're out there in space. No, I feel like Cyrus probably has like ideas and motives, but they're probably very, like, I'll just say out there again. Like, not maniacal.
Like idealistic and maybe not realistic.
Yeah, like idealistic, but like way too much to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to be more in tune with catching or doing things with legendaries and using them not to like expand the earth or the sea. This is my one interaction I've had with him.
I need you guys to watch Pokemon the movie 2000 because for some reason Cyrus reminds me of the guy in that movie.
So something that Cam said just reminded me of that because he's like obsessed with legendaries and like, but not like using them necessarily. Because the guy
in Pokemon the movie 2000 was just a collector.
He's just a collector. He just wants to like, yeah.
It was also really cool because they tied in like the Pokemon like trading card game very briefly in the movie too, because his whole collector's mentality came from the fact that he had this like collectible Mew card, and they had it in the movie, and it was really interesting because you never hear about the card game ever in the series.
Yeah, no. You just hear about like the weird. You get the Pokemon fan club, but they're like actually.
Yeah.
That's not meta. That's just they're obsessed with Pokemon.
Yeah, and they also follow like trainers and gym leaders and Elite Fours and champions, like people who are like celebrities in the Pokemon world,
right?
Being really good at battling and raising Pokemon, like they follow them.
Yeah.
You know, that's about it.
I thought I had Pokemon the movie 2000 here, but I just have
Pokemon the movie 3.
I have Pokemon the movie 3.
Yeah.
That was great. I also really liked the little short that came before the third movie.
Oh, with Pichu?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta watch these. I haven't seen Pokemon the movie 3.
You gotta watch like
I think I read the
them.
book, but I didn't watch the movie.
Read the book?
No, seriously. I think I read a book that covers that plot. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure what it was, so...
Probably the Scholastic Book Fair did it, because I had
definitely
the same
Scholastic Book Fair, yeah.
situation with movie 4, the Celebi movie. I had a book from the Scholastic Book Fair outlining the whole plot and like just screen caps from the movie.
I don't remember the fourth movie. I don't remember Celebi. I think that I watched the third one in theaters and then got the DVD, and like that was the last Pokemon movie that I ever went to like see, because I haven't seen Detective Pikachu either.
I stopped after the 7th one.
I
watched a lot of them. Oh, there's like 15 Pokemon movies, dude.
Marathon.
Which reminds me that Sirmina, you need to do the Pokerap at some point.
At one point, potentially. Okay, so as of 2020, there have been 23 animated films and 1 live action.
So the live action is Detective Pikachu. We know that.
Yeah.
23? My God.
1998, Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. 99, Pokemon the movie 2000, The Power of One. 2000, Pokemon 3, the movie, Spell of the Unknown. 2001. They've released a movie every year.
I mean, on average they would have had to.
Wow. Okay, so 4, Pokemon Forever, Celebi, Voice of the Forest.
Stupid name.
Pokemon Heroes, Latios and Latias. Wow. And then Jirachi, then Deoxys, then Lucario.
Deoxys is the last one I watched.
Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. Rise of Darkrai, Giratina. I'm halfway through the list. I won't keep reading it, but there's a lot.
I think I've seen bits and pieces of the Lucario movie and the Pokemon Ranger movie. And then after that, it's just blank. I got nothing. I got no idea. However, if you look at some of the later movies, like numbers like 20 onward, number 20 is called I Choose You, and it's Ash Ketchum from Palette is 10 years old today. He's now old enough to become a Pokemon trainer. So it's like a rehashing of the beginning of Pokemon. 21, The Power of Us. It focuses on something that has to do with Lugia, so it's like calling back to Pokemon 2000. The 22nd movie is the Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, the animated remake. 23, Secrets of the Jungle. I don't fucking know what this is.
Secrets of the Jungle?
Oh, it says something about a Gen 8 mythical Pokemon and a shiny Celebi.
Zarude.
But it's coming out this year.
Zarude and a shiny Celebi. Oh, okay, that explains why Pokemon Go had the Secrets of the Jungle research task where you get a shiny Celebi.
That makes sense.
That's why.
Now. Wow, okay. I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it.
That.
Apparently in 2018, a friend of a friend got the vocalist for the intro theme song to sing Mark an a cappella version of the song in his car without any warning whatsoever. I would be in shock too, Mark.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I'm assuming this was like over the phone? That's the best I can figure it. It'll take at least 30 seconds for us to get a response back about how that happened.
That's amazing, though.
That's really cool, though.
Mm-hmm. Detective Pikachu.
No, I picked her up from an event. Oh, so he picked someone up from an event, and they sang the theme song in his car. That's cool.
That's amazing. Also, I think that you're seeing the chat way before I am, because you responded to that, and then it popped up. It's like...
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about our thoughts on Detective Pikachu as well, which I know not everyone has seen.
I haven't seen it.
It's on Mark's Twitter, but that's his claim to Pokemon fame, is that. So, but Detective Pikachu, I don't think I didn't see it in theaters. I think I waited until it came out on like Netflix or something, because I watched it more recently than it came out for sure. Hulu, wherever it was. But I liked it. It was interesting. It was kind of dark, but it was interesting.
I'd probably give it a 6, but I'd raise it to a 7 because of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that so I went into it really not expecting much. I actually wasn't expecting to like it. And then I really did like it. It was like a lot more fun and creative than I expected going in. I kind of thought it would be more of a run-of-the-mill, like kind of cookie-cutter story, and then it wound up being something pretty cool. That said, there were some... I think at the end of the day, they were making this weird cross between like a kids movie and a movie for people that were kids in 1998.
Yeah.
And that's always really hard to do. And yeah, I think it suffered from most of the same problems that a lot of nostalgia movies suffer from.
To appeal to too many people, they need to just pick something and go with it.
Yeah.
You can't please everybody, Nintendo. You can't.
Just either rate your nostalgia movie G or R. Don't play in between, because then you're not telling people who they're supposed to be going as. Just yeah. Release the one movie the first week where it's Pikachu deciding whether or not to evolve into Raichu. And then the next movie the next week where Psyduck machine guns down a row of Rapidashes. Whatever. Just separate the two.
Oh my goodness.
Is that a part of Detective Pikachu?
It was not. But I think the problem was they did add some grittier, darker elements to it that were just kind of a little weird for a kids movie, but obviously it wasn't they didn't really commit all the way to that, because it is a kids movie. It's a movie that kids are gonna go see. I think really they made that movie for people our age, but then edited it to make sure that it would be fine for a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
That's
they
my
needed
take.
to make it okay for 7-year-olds, and that was the biggest problem. They needed to just I think they should just gone fucking rated PG-13/R and called it a day.
Exactly. Just take all the lines from Deadpool, copy paste them right into the Detective Pikachu script. Like,
Pretty much,
don't cast Ryan Reynolds and then shackle him to a heavy weight of not being allowed to say curse words.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting the talent.
So ridiculous.
Like the taking J.K. Simmons lines from
Right.
other movies and putting them over Tenzin.
Yes. Like, how do you cast J.K. Simmons as Tenzin and then say, oh yeah, we're gonna make a PG-rated Avatar follow-up? No.
Mm-hmm.
Get the X rating. Let J.K. Simmons say whatever he wants.
Is that an X rating? I thought they reserved that for other things.
Korra should have just gone off the rails. That's what should have happened. Every scene with Tenzin should have been traumatizing. You can't watch it in public.
We've really strayed away from Pokemon here in Gen 4.
We're still talking about Pokemon, but you know. I need to see this video of Mark's friend of a friend getting the vocalist. I need to see this. I'm now stuck on this.
If you find it, share it to the Discord call.
Oh, I need it. I need it.
That already exists. What, an X-rated version of Korra? I'm sure it does.
Yikes.
I mean, there's a rule somewhere, somehow.
That there is.
That there is.
There very likely is.
Ariana Grande wrote a song about that rule.
Mm-hmm. I love Ariana.
I'll explain when you're older, Cam.
Thank you. I'll anxiously await that day.
Yeah. I don't have a ton more to say about Gen 4 because we've only played it once.
There's not much to talk about right now, Gen 4 wise.
I want to talk about one thing about Gen 4 that I found to be frustrating, and that's the Pokedex.
Yep.
Because going into the Gym Leader Challenge, it was cool, we'll be able to put together a team of one type, and it'll be great. And the reason why we couldn't do the Gen Lock is because that really narrows it down, because the Pokedex for Sinnoh isn't just the new Pokemon that were introduced in Sinnoh. The original 151 of the Sinnoh decks are a compilation of Gens 1 through 4. And then once you beat the game and get the 151 in the Sinnoh decks, then you can go get the rest of the new stuff in Sinnoh. So that's kind of frustrating that for what we're doing, we can't get all of the new or see all of the new Sinnoh Pokemon.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a thing, I think, in Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. I think all Gen 3 Pokemon were in it.
Yes. But there was a pretty big conundrum when Gen 3 came out, if I'm remembering this correctly. Because the Gen 3 does not use the National Dex until the end of the game.
Yeah, it was pretty great. It was pretty nice that Gen 3 didn't have to deal with the National Dex until afterwards. And we already had a lot of availability in Gen 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Sinnoh's, it just seems like it's like beating the E4 and becoming the champion is no longer really the end of the game. There's so much more to do after that.
Yeah.
That like yellow, red, and blue. I just keep looking at my list, and so I will always say the one that I played first. Sorry. It was the 151. You beat the game. You became the champion. That was really it, as far as I can tell. That was the end. Gold kind of built on that because then you could go through Kanto, and then you would go to Mount Silver.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sapphire, after you beat the game. Actually, I don't know if you had to beat the game to do the Reggie stuff.
No.
No, you don't.
You just have to be able to surf and dive and dig, flash, and maybe fly. No, rock smash. There's a lot of stuff you had to do in that challenge, but
But
And
none of it has to do with beating the game.
And I
Right.
don't think you even have to beat the game to catch the legendaries in Emerald.
I think you might for Groudon and Kyogre.
Yeah.
They're crazy, like yours was like plot driven to get him.
You might, but I'm not. I think once you break them up, which is not the end of the game quite yet because you're not champion yet. I think once you break them up in Setopolis, you can actually go catch them. Could be wrong. We didn't get to test that, which I maybe should have, but. Well.
You have to beat the Elite Four first. That's what it says.
Oh, you do? Before they'll
Yeah.
start? Okay. Well, there you go. So thanks for
So there is-
fact-checking that.
Yeah, so there is stuff after beating the E4 and becoming the champion then in Gen 3, but like
Yeah.
it's not the same as Pearl, Diamond, Platinum blocking off a good portion of new Pokemon until you beat the game.
Yeah.
Which like leads to exploration afterwards, and it's like more playtime, but it's also only a little frustrating.
Yeah.
That, like,
I think there's
so many-
a balance here. Because you should get some rewards for beating the game. And I think essentially like in Gen 3, like some of your rewards for beating Emerald are like, oh cool, now you can go catch the legendaries. And you have some other stuff, like you can go to the Battle Frontier because now you have the ticket for the boat, which is a nice callback to the boat in Gen 1. Some other stuff. Also, really worried me because I had been on a shipwreck not days earlier. But the changing the Pokedex to allow you to get more Pokemon feels like such a hassle of a mechanic to change. I don't know if I like that as a like win gated thing.
I like the idea of the reward, and maybe we're just too used to instant gratification of like, yes, give me everything from the start so that I can explore everything. But yeah, there's so many Gen 4 evolutions that are just not possible to get. Like those Pokemon that would evolve into them don't even exist in the game until you've seen the 151.
Yeah, and I just
Swinub doesn't spawn until after you get the national dex.
that just feels like a weird thing. Like, okay, I get dangling. Like, okay, here's your Kyogre cookie that I'm gonna dangle out in front of you, and like once you beat the game, you can catch him. Yay, right? That makes sense to me. Being like, what's the third evolution for Swinub?
Mamoswine.
Mamoswine. What's the middle one? Damn it.
Piloswine.
So
You should
like
know this.
dangling out like Mamoswine as like, oh, beat the game so you can get Mamoswine. Like,
Yo, don't trash talk Mamoswine.
right, but like, is that really why you're like psyched up to beat Pearl? You're like, sweet, I can get Mamoswine.
Well, you could also get Heatran.
So many other things, though.
Right. I just think that like
It's not just Mamoswine.
most of the
Like Gallad.
kind of like
guys.
Yeah.
most of the basic Pokemon in the game should be accessible sort of from the game. I can totally see locking off legendaries, locking off like pseudo legendaries, things like that. I struggle a little even with like pseudo legendaries because like Gen 2 I was like, fuck yeah, we're gonna go catch a Tyranitar, and I was like, nope, you can't.
Pseudo legendary?
Is Tyranitar not a pseudo legendary?
No.
I think it counts as the pseudo.
What?
Yeah, I think he's a pseudo legendary.
There's one set of pseudos in every generation. Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite were the
Yes.
pseudo legendaries in Gen 1. The Larvitar line is the pseudo
Yeah.
legendaries in Gen 2. Gen 3 is
Salamence.
yeah.
Metagross.
the
Baton
Garchomp. Hydreigon. Gudra. Komodo. Dragapult.
It's
Gen
often a
3
dragon.
has a couple of
Kind of
pseudos because we have Beldum and Bagon.
What is Dragapult?
Is that Gudra?
No, Gudra is something else. So, wow, really? Tyranitar, Salamence, Metagross, Dragonite, Garchomp. Lots of dragons.
Yeah, Garchomp, yeah.
I think part of my issue with this is like if this were a shooting game and the game kept handing you a better version of a pistol, and then you got to the end of the game after you'd beaten like the main story and done kind of the things you wanted to do, and the game was like, sweet, here's an AK-47. I'd be like, fuck you. Because I could have used that back. Like, I would have liked to use that back there to do fun things throughout the game.
Well, you gotta know the rules before you break them.
Yeah.
You gotta know when to hold them.
No.
What? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Poker.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a very weird call on their part. And I can't tell if it's like they just want you to focus on like the totally brand new Pokemon as opposed to like the ones that they get like a next evolution afterwards that counts as Gen 4 so that they force you to have more exposure to like the newer guys.
Yeah.
Or very likely not like a space issue on the cartridge, I'm assuming.
Less likely, but
Less likely than in earlier generations.
potential. I do think like if you worked for whose design is it still Game Freak? That's Game Freak makes the games the whole way through, right? Like Nintendo just distributes. I don't even know how that works. But let's say you're working on the Pokemon game, and like if you look back at Gens 1 through 3, one lesson you might take from them is like giving people a limited number of Pokemon to focus on is a good idea.
Yeah.
Because Gen 1 and Gen 3 do a pretty good job of not giving you like an overwhelming number of Pokemon to choose from, and Gen 2 does a shitty job of giving you a reasonable number of Pokemon to choose from.
Oh, Gen 2.
And also results in people just picking the old Gen 1 Pokemon to do for everything.
They just did a really bad job of making like good Gen 2 Pokemon that resulted in you having to pick Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, part of this is, we've talked about this before, like a lot of the Gen 2 Pokemon are just rejects from Gen 1, right? Like,
in a sense, yeah.
They didn't make it onto the first generation of games, so we buffed them up a little bit and put them in Gen 2, but it turns out there was a reason we didn't put them in the first generation of games.
Buffed them up. They also sucked.
It's a rehashing. Just a rehashing.
Or-
Not even a buff up. Just a rehashing.
Or you just take the
More like a
starters
re-splashing,
and
'cause
slap
they
new
really
names and pictures on them. Call it a day. Like, watching that video and realizing that the Cyndaquil line's stats are exactly the same as the Charmander's,
Oh, it was great.
that's bad.
No, it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
They did a really rough job with that.
My point is, I could see Game 4 designers saying, hey, look, we don't want to give people like too many options right off the get-go. Let's limit them to 151 Pokemon, which is a number that has seemed to work before, and call it a day.
I'm Googling things. Yep. 151. That was good for them to start.
Cam's
and just
thinking.
do that.
I'm thinking about if there's more to say about this, or if I want to dive into the second point that I wanted to make about Gen 4.
Go ahead.
Effective moves and typings, and special versus physical has changed.
Finally here.
It's phenomenal. And you can see as well, whenever you have like a new move, that it tells you whether it's physical or special. That's the other thing about it.
So
It
nice.
tells you with a very particular graphic around it.
That is cool.
And it's no longer anxiety inducing to be like, forget an old move and you could accidentally hit A an extra time and delete a move that you wanted to keep.
Yep.
Now it has the whole like, are you sure?
Yeah, because who did I do that with in Gen 2?
I was going to give Ampharos rest and sleep talk, and I accidentally overwrote rest and gave it sleep talk. It's like, what's the point?
I think...
And then Sirmina was like, you should just give it rain dance, and I just overwrote that one. I was like, great.
Yep.
That worked better.
It was
oh, I remember now. I had Beedrill with Mega Drain. I meant to give it to Bulbasaur.
Oh my god.
And I misclicked, and I was like, oh, let me just skip the thing where it asks you. But I hit, like, A instead of B. And it was like, alright. I was like, oh. Guess I don't know Poison Sting anymore.
Very disappointing.
Didn't want that on my Beedrill anyway. And then I boxed Beedrill.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember you having Beedrill at the end of that game.
Because after I forgot a poison move on the poison type, I was like...
I don't remember what you named it. I can't even remember what you named it. I do remember it being there, but I don't remember its name.
Buggy Bear.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Buggy Bear.
Who I would bring back out when I needed cut.
It's your least favorite HM.
Why do you hate on cut?
Just fucking let me walk around. All I want to do is walk around. There doesn't have to be trees.
They're railroading you by putting trees in the way that can be cut.
Yeah, I hope that you run into a tree that's necessary for you to progress and you don't have someone with cut on your team.
Probably not. I mean, you've seen how I operate. I'm not going to know it.
At least in Gen 3, I don't feel like you needed cut.
I didn't because I never used it.
He's right, he didn't use it at all.
I didn't.
It's crazy.
I did use Flash. I had to use Flash.
Victory Road?
Yeah.
No. I didn't use Flash in Victory Road.
I did.
I did.
Yeah, welcome to my personal hell. I went through all of Victory Road without Flash.
I don't know how you did that or why you did that.
Did you do that on stream?
Uh-huh.
You did that on stream?
Yeah.
Viewers, I'm so sorry. That's been rough.
It was.
Did you do the follow the left side of the wall so that it eventually leads you to the exit?
Yeah, and I did that for like a while. Before I was like, where's this damn ladder? You have to like cross the water.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out how to do that because I couldn't see like where stuff was once I was in the water because everything was just water.
You know, the lesson is you should have gotten Flash.
You should have gotten Flash.
Yeah.
Should have just done it.
But I didn't need cut. You also need Flash for the Regihunt. That's where I use Flash. Because when I finished the game, remember I was operating with 3 Pokemon through Victory Road, and I actually didn't bring on an HM slave in that part. So it's only when I expanded my team that I got someone to learn Flash. That's how I did it.
Crazy.
No one ever learned cut, though, I don't think.
Guess not, no.
Sad face.
Yeah, that face really does look sad. Huh.
I hope when you get to the point where you need to learn like surf and stuff, you don't have a Pokemon that can learn surf, and you have to go just get like a Pokemon like I did that can.
I mean, I probably will since
all grass types.
Grass Gym Leader.
Mm-hmm. You too can plan accordingly. None of your boys can probably learn surf.
Oh, is his firefighting types?
I'm sure I'll have one thing that can learn surf. Maybe.
Unless it's part water, probably not.
Zigzagoon can learn surf.
All right, what can learn?
That's the
Surf.
thing.
Zigzag.
Look at all these water types that can learn surf.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh no.
What HM number is Surf? 3?
3.
3?
Oh.
Peter, we're in for some trouble.
Shit. Well,
Unless you do ground, yeah, we're in for some trouble.
I mean, you can do what I had to do, and you just have to give up a slot.
I'm
temporarily.
probably gonna HM slave for a lot of the HMs because
Yeah. And then just never use it to ensure that you at least still adhere to your gym leader challenge
Exactly.
rules.
Oh wait, Peter, you can have someone. No, never mind.
who did you think?
I saw Palkia, and I was like, Palkia's Pearl, obviously, and I was like, Water Dragon.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna rely on needing to go catch a legendary, teach it
right.
surf.
What about Waterfall?
What if he lives on an island?
Ooh, Peter, we're in for some trouble with Waterfall.
Well, yes, we'd be in the same fucking boat.
Ha.
What about Defog?
Defog's a weird one. I actually don't know what
Ooh.
who needs to.
Peter, we're in for some trouble.
Shit.
Great.
Good thing they got rid of Dive in Gen 4, and said now you just have to do Defog. So get somebody who can learn all 3.
There's
Surf,
one
Waterfall,
Pokemon that can. There's one Grass type Pokemon that can learn Defog, and you can't get it until after you beat the game. It's Tropius.
God
Tropius!
damn it.
My boy!
Which
It's a
means I
return.
can't pick up Tropius to fly either.
No. Oh, that's a really good point. You can learn Fly.
Ooh, yeah, we're
It's
all
gonna be
kind
a
of
problem
in
for a
trouble
lot
with
of
Fly.
us.
Yeah.
Although, can you catch Wingull in
Yeah.
Gen 4?
Wingull and Pelipper are in the game.
Fuck.
Hey,
Should've
Tropius
picked
can
him up.
fly. Giratina's altered form and origin form can learn Fly.
Oh, good.
Great.
Good. That'll help us.
That's so helpful. Yeah, that's an issue. I guess we're walking.
Yep, you'll just walk everywhere.
Rock climb. Everyone can learn rock climb, it looks like.
No, only Sirmina.
Yeah.
I fall off rocks.
Oh, Sirmina, you actually do. You might have more of an issue with rock climb, actually.
Are we talking about
Well,
rock
that's
smash?
ironic.
Empoleon, Bibarel, and Golduck are the only water types that can learn it.
Empoleon, I do remember that being a thing.
What a waste of a move.
Is it rock climb or
Yeah.
rock smash?
There's rock climb
Climb.
and there's rock smash.
Oh, god damn it. Why did they add new HMs?
Because
Hey, they
they
got rid of
have,
Dive.
yeah, they got rid of Dive. They needed to do something else.
Why can't I just press the jump button like in Legend of Zelda?
I wonder though if they got inspiration from Gen 3 and having like that acrobike, because you know how you can use the acrobike to like climb back up the mountains in certain parts.
I do
of the
not.
map? There's
No.
like little stones
Yeah.
and you can hop.
I had the
Rock
mock bike,
climb
but
kinda has a similar type of use. Is that you climb up the side of a mountain or side of a slope of sorts?
Also, you can't jump in the original Zelda games. You just run towards things and it auto jumps. Just wanted to make that correction.
in Breath of the Wild, I can
In
jump.
Breath of the Wild, you
and
can
then
jump.
I land on the wall, and I can just climb up the wall, unless it's raining.
Yeah. But in the original ones, there was no jump.
In the original ones, you don't have to climb up the wall because you can just turn around. If you're playing Ocarina of Time, you can just turn around, and eventually Link will phase through things.
Oh yeah, then you'll be fine.
Empoleon can learn 7 HMs.
Wow.
Wow, the Piplup line can learn the most HMs. Everyone else can only learn 4. But Piplup, Prinplup, and Empoleon can eventually learn 7.
Well, don't bother
Just
catching any other
reply.
Pokemon, Sirmina, because you can just teach Empoleon all 7
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll just cycle
at
through.
once.
I'll just keep. Well, except for Fly, of course.
Yeah.
Wait, is that actually the one that's limited because penguins can't fly?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Is there any Pokemon that can learn all of them?
Probably like Mew.
Mew doesn't exist in this.
Zigzagoon.
In the original game,
And
Mew
wait,
was able to learn every single TM and probably every single HM.
hold up. Empoleon can learn 7 HMs, everything except for Fly. The next Pokemon that can learn the most with 6 is Bibarel,
Oh, god damn it.
tied with Giratina.
Bibarel
With
is
6.
Giratina.
Like, there's 4 Pokemon that can learn 6 HMs. 2 of them are Giratina's forms. One of them is Bibarel, and the other one is Prinplup. Wow. Alright. I see how it is.
But we probably at some point need to catch a bird
This is like
who can surf.
This is making up for just how much trouble I had in Gen 3. I needed a lucky break here, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
We need to find a bird that can surf? I think I know one.
Yeah, same.
Pelican type.
Pelican type. Super effective against the fish type.
Mm-hmm.
Well, folks, I pretty much tapped out everything I know about Gen 4 so far.
There's not much.
Yeah. There's no fairy type yet.
Gotta wait till Gen 6.
God, that's
Or
so
7.
long.
6. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll talk about fairy types in a month. Maybe?
No.
No.
Oh, wow. Wait.
June.
2 months. 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Because next month we're going to be doing black, white, and then one of the other two.
Is no one...
I'm doing black, and then I'm doing black 2 in June. So someone must be doing white, and someone must be doing white 2 in May.
In May, I'm playing X. Nope, I'm playing white.
And Sirmina is playing white 2.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no one's
Wait.
playing Gen 6 until June. Good. Sorry, jump to conclusions on that.
It'll be very fun. I'll be playing
Yeah.
white 2 in May.
And then Sirmina's playing Y in June, and Peter's playing X in June. I'll be playing black 2, so I'll be continuing Gen 5.
May is going to be fun because Sirmina's going to be playing white too. I'm going to be playing white. So.
Mm-hmm.
The time lapse. Yeah, how long into the future are we in Sinnoh as compared to where we were in Red, Blue, Yellow?
Good question.
Because Gen 2 took place 3 years later.
Gen 2?
Yeah, I remember that being the plot point. Like, Team Rocket disbanded 3 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
Let's
Disbanded.
find out.
But technology is amazing, so we're still clearly in the future.
Pokemon timeline. This just tells me the actual years that things came out. Didn't mean that.
So it would seem that Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald take place at the same time as Red, Blue, Yellow.
What?
Whoa.
I'm reading something here.
Actually, that kind of checks out.
Does it?
Yeah, I mean, we appear to be at the same timeline as Gen 2.
Yes. 3 years later, gold, silver, crystal, heart gold, soul silver, diamond, pearl, platinum.
There is a now deleted tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, whoa. Wow.
Also, I call a little BS on the fact that Mantine can't learn fly.
So wait, this says Yeah, that the original Gen 1 and Ruby Sapphire occur together. Gen 2 and Diamond Pearl Platinum occur together. Then Black White 2 occur at the same time as X and Y.
Black 2, White 2 occur at the same time as XY.
Yep.
Yes.
And okay, so...
And this
Red,
was
Blue,
tweeted in
Yellow.
2014, so Sword Shield had not come out yet. Nor had
So
Sun.
1 and 3 take place at the same time, and 2 and 4 take place at the same time?
Yes.
So we're 3 years after the events of the original. Okay.
Yeah. So what we're going to hear a lot about is people talking about how the world almost flooded 3 years ago.
That's the guess. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to
It's
hear
also interesting because we had that
everybody
meme-
is going to be constantly freaking out about that because that just happened 3 years ago. I
It's
say,
interesting
fully
because we
prepared
had
for the game,
Team
never to
Rocket.
reference that fact ever again.
We had Team Rocket and Team Magma and Aqua having their plot lines
Separate.
occur at the same time. And then 3 years later, the return of Team Rocket and then Team Galactic and their plot lines.
Okay, so Team Galactic better be actually cool.
I have no idea anything about it. Sirmina, don't say a word.
I'm not saying
Their
anything,
name is
but
pretty
that's-
cool.
Their name is cool. And it will always remind me of Gel's Marble Runs and Team Galactic. No,
What?
a reference that is lost on both of you.
What was that one? Gel?
Gel's Marble Runs. At like the beginning of quarantine, I feel like it really took off. He does like Marble Olympics where he sets up like
yeah.
events for like Winter and Summer Olympics and like race tracks for marbles and things like that. And it's
Wow,
really,
funny.
really funny and intense.
Well, now I gotta go check that out.
But he has merchandise, and one of the teams is called Team Galactic.
It reminds me of Marvel's character Galactus. He's a big guy. I think he eats
Fascinating.
planets. I'm not really sure. He's bigger than Thanos.
There are a lot of people who are larger than Thanos,
It's true. Like an elephant.
like the Hulk.
Hulk was also bigger than Thanos. But not Spider-Man.
And Iron Man is a bigger man than Thanos will ever be.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen Infinity War Endgame.
I know.
So-
I gotta get you to watch those. Just like I gotta get me to watch the Pokemon movies and finagle a reactiono videos. Well, I think we tapped out Gen 4, if you guys are good.
Yeah.
So, I have no idea when our streams are gonna be this week. I gotta get moving some stuff to a new apartment. And
Yay!
that's about it. But that might throw off my schedule a little bit. But we'll have a schedule for you up on Twitter, on Facebook as soon as we know. I'll try to do some morning streams. You guys tend to do evening streams. That seems to be working out. If nothing else, we'll see you here presumably next Sunday, the 11th of April.
Wow.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have played some Gen 4 before then.
We'll definitely play it.
We will.
We'll
We
definitely
will
play
have.
some Gen 4. If you haven't yet, really go and check out the video we posted on Friday where all three of us are on one screen playing a bunch of Gen 4 games all at once. It was a blast.
It was
And
so fun.
I hope we get to do it again before April's over.
We
'Cause it was a
probably
lot of
will.
fun.
We'll
Yeah.
figure something out.
Even if it's we'll figure it out.
Cool. Well, I know we had some viewers tune in tonight. Thanks so much for those of you that tuned in and stayed active. Put some comments, put some questions in the thing for us to respond to. That's always really helpful as we go through, especially
Smash that like button.
smash that like button, obliterate the subscribe button, follow us on Twitter at Fyrestorm VPP, annihilate the Facebook like button. I think we're like firestorm.vol or something. But if you
Yeah.
search Firestorm on Facebook, you'll probably find us. And we'll catch you all next Sunday.
Sounds like a plan.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for
Thanks,
tuning.
y'all.